Hello Third Eye family, welcome back to another true crime episode. Today, we are back in the heart of England with, if not the worst, one of the worst killers to ever come out of Britain. Harold Shipman, born on January 14, 1946, in Nottingham, England, was a British doctor who became one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history. He was convicted in 2000 for the murders of 15 patients, but the true number of his victims is believed to be much higher, possibly exceeding 250. He grew up in the town of Hyde, Cheshire, which later became the location of his medical practice and the center of his crimes. During his early life, there were no significant indications of the criminal path he would later take. Shipman was raised in a middle-class family and attended Hyde Technical College. He was described as intelligent and well-behaved during his school years, showing an early interest in pursuing a medical career. In 1965, Shipman began studying medicine at Leeds School of Medicine. He completed his training and qualified as a doctor in 1970. After working in various hospitals, he eventually settled in Hyde, where he established a general medical practice in 1974. He quickly gained a reputation as a competent and caring doctor, earning the trust of his patients and the respect of the local community. Shipman married Primrose Oxtoby in 1966, and the couple had 4 children together. On the surface, he appeared to be a devoted family man and a dedicated physician, further solidifying his image in the community as a trustworthy and compassionate figure. It wasn't until years later that suspicions of Shipman's criminal activities began to arise. In the late 1990s, a forged will of one of his deceased patients raised concerns about his conduct. The authorities initiated an investigation, leading to the discovery of a pattern of suspicious deaths among Shipman's patients. He was arrested in September 1998, and the subsequent investigation revealed that he had been administering lethal doses of opioids, particularly diamorphine, to his victims, making it appear as though they died of natural causes. The British doctor and serial killer is believed to have killed at least 218 of his patients, though the actual number of his victims may never be known for certain. His crimes occurred over a span of many years, during his tenure as a general practitioner in Hyde, Greater Manchester, England. Shipman's victims were primarily elderly women, but there were also male victims among his patients. He targeted vulnerable and elderly individuals who were less likely to question or suspect his actions, making it easier for him to administer lethal doses of drugs without raising suspicion. The exact number of Shipman's victims remains uncertain, but he is believed to have killed at least 218 patients. Harold Shipman's crimes came to light due to a combination of suspicious circumstances, concerned family members, and diligent investigative work by the authorities. The investigation that eventually led to his arrest and conviction began in 1998. Here's how Harold Shipman was discovered. Concerns about high death rates. Family members of some of Shipman's deceased patients began to raise concerns about the unusually high death rate among his patients. They found it suspicious that many of his patients seemed to die unexpectedly or suddenly, often without any apparent reason. One of Shipman's victims was Kathleen Grundy, a wealthy 81-year-old woman who had died unexpectedly. After her death, Shipman presented a forged will in which he was named as the beneficiary of her estate. This raised suspicions among Mrs. Grundy's family members, who knew that she had not made such a will. Kathleen Grundy's daughter, Angela Woodruff, alerted the authorities about the suspicious circumstances surrounding her mother's death and the forged will. The police launched an investigation into Shipman and his medical practice. As part of the investigation, the bodies of several of Shipman's deceased patients were exhumed for further examination. Autopsies revealed high levels of diamorphine, heroin, in their systems, leading to suspicions that they had been deliberately overdosed with the drug. Anomaly in drug dispensing. During the investigation, it was discovered that Shipman had acquired large quantities of diamorphine from a local pharmacy, significantly more than what would be expected for a general practitioner's practice. Alteration of medical records. Further scrutiny of Shipman's medical records revealed that he had altered patients' medical records to make it appear as though they had been suffering from medical conditions that would justify the use of diamorphine. Based on the accumulating evidence, Harold Shipman was arrested on September 7, 1998. He was charged with multiple counts of murder and forgery. Shipman was put on trial, and during the proceedings, he denied all charges, maintaining his innocence. Despite his denials, the evidence against Shipman was overwhelming. On January 31, 2000, he was found guilty of 15 counts of murder and 1 count of forgery. He received a life sentence with a recommendation that he never be released. Harold Shipman's crimes shocked the nation and had a profound impact on the regulation of healthcare professionals in the United Kingdom. The case highlighted the importance of vigilance in the medical profession and the need for robust systems to detect and prevent the abuse of power by those in positions of trust. The court trial of Harold Shipman, one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history, was a high-profile legal proceeding that took place in England. On January 31, 2000, after 6 days of deliberations, the jury delivered its verdict. Harold Shipman was found guilty on all counts. The presiding judge, Mr. Justice Forbes, sentenced him to life imprisonment, with a recommendation that he never be released. This meant that Shipman would spend the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole. Further investigation. After Shipman's conviction, the investigation continued, and further exhumations of some of his victims' bodies were conducted to ensure justice and gather additional evidence. Suicide. Shipman was held at Wakefield Prison in West Yorkshire. On January 13, 2004, he was found dead in his prison cell after committing suicide by hanging. He was 57 years old at the time of his death, just 1 day before his 58th birthday. Shipman's crimes shocked the nation and raised concerns about patient safety, the regulation of healthcare professionals, and the potential for abuse of power within the medical field. The case led to significant changes in medical practices, including tighter regulations and enhanced scrutiny of doctors in the United Kingdom. Well guys, we are coming to the end of the video. What is your thoughts on Harold Shipman? Do you think he is the worst killer in British history? As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.